Hello everyone, we have our news for the week, so let's go through it. Maintenance is normal time as usual. Ending with maintenance, we have Clash of Wills, so if you haven't finished going through that, you have until maintenance to finish. Item World is ending, so make sure that you run your items through and finish before maintenance, otherwise they'll just get sent back with the enhancements they had before you entered in there with them. The Red Eyes Dark Dragon challenge is also ending, and the Fundamental Forces Dragon arc. So if you haven't gone through those, make sure to get those done before maintenance, especially going through the Fundamental Forces. The materia there is incredibly useful, and the other items are pretty much nice. So that's a bit ending with maintenance. So if you haven't done it, make sure you do that before maintenance. And this week is going to be Final Fantasy 12. So we're going to get a free unit that's going to be an NVA, and obviously we're going to get the unit and everything to max them out for free. And we're getting 2 Neovision base units. So we're getting logins for that as usual. More 6th anniversary login as well. There's a bunch of Lapis in there, which is quite nice. Exchange shop is the usual there. Dark Visions is starting, so we're getting our usual Dark Vision tickets. The Neovision pool on this is not bad. Renoa, Dragoon Kane, Leftia, and Roberta. Pretty decent selection there. 5 stars, not as useful. Eileen still okay for stealing killers, but we're getting up to having people with 250 killers now, so not as useful there. Same thing with Dark Knight Luneth. Stealing his 200% killer has been nice, but again, we're starting to see 250 killers. Lauren and Tifa, without upgrades, they've just been they've fallen behind. Barrett too. Summerfina and Lid being a breaker healer is kind of nice. Cleome, budget Sephiroth still, but again, her damage hasn't come up since we've gotten all the new units. The 5-star pool there is okay. Neovision pool is kind of nice though. And they're doing a new voting, so we get 3 more options. First up is 300 unit fragments choice, so probably in sets of 10, usually what they do for us. And then we get the Lapis raffle. Minimum looks like 6,000 for a total. And then obviously some people can get more than that. Mostly from what we've seen in these in the past is like 99% of people end up just above the minimum, with a couple of people getting a nice amount. And then option 3 is awakening materials and stuff. They do show like Transcension Pearl, Master Crown, EX, the 110 Neovision tickets. I see a Mystery Crystal there. But they don't say exactly what's in there. As far as the choice, it's a tough call. I'd say between option 1 and 2. I mean, option 1 is really nice because 300 choice fragments would really help maxing out units. Option 2, like I said, for the most part, it's a raffle. Only really going to expect to get 6,000, just over 6,000 probably for most of the players. So option 1 might be the best choice as far as being able to max out units. And we're getting some more spell updates. So we've already had this happen with Thunder. Pretty much the base spell is getting upgraded to reduce the resist of that element and fill limit gauge. And they're just doing all the other elements aside from Thunder, which was already done before. So I mean, it's kind of nice to have another option for reducing the element, and filling limits can be nice as well. But that's all we're getting for the updates there. So we get some new vision cards. So Balthier, not premium, so EX1 and 3, maxed out, 100 attack, 50% attack, 25% limit damage, and 500 attack for Final Fantasy 12 units. Standard series card, nothing special. That's pretty much how all the series go. And then for Ashe, again, not premium, so we get EX1 and EX3 her card. 100% 100 spirit, 50% spirit, 50% double hand spirit, and then 500 spirit for Final Fantasy 12 units. Again, pretty much a series card based around spirit. And that's all we're getting for new cards. We get a Chronicle fight for him. So obviously Final Fantasy 12 units get the bonus here. We'll be able to upgrade resistance armor, 55 attack, 28 defense, 52 spirit, 30% attack and spirit. Final Fantasy 12 units get 50% human killer, and everybody else should get 30% attack, 10% spirit when using a large sword. I mean, not bad overall. And then the other Balthier's gun trust is getting upgraded. We'll be able to turn it into a two-handed gun with 220 attack. Balthier in the new Neovision version gets 750 flat attack with 50% limit damage. Everybody else should be able to get the 100% beast killer and 100% double hand attack. So overall, a really nice gun, especially with helping build units that are dual wield into double hand. So definitely worth maxing that out. So for Dark Visions, on the 4th, we get the first 4 domains open. They're not limited to physical or magic. We can do either or, and they're just split up by elements. So we get Water and Dark, Ice, Lightning, Wind, Light, Fire, and Earth. And then a few days later, we'll get the EX domains opened up. And with this one, they are upgrading a couple of weapons even more. So the sword, rod, katana, and bow and throwing weapon are getting a plus 11. And just the attack is going up even more. So we're looking at 286 attack on the sword, 291 magic on the rod, 298 attack on the katana. The bow gets 235, and the throwing weapon gets 286 attack. So for flat attack and magic, pretty nice. A lot of the weapons that we've gotten lately as trust have killers on them now. And that's it for the Dark Visions update. And the Final Fantasy 12 event is going to be a King Mog. So Blue Sky Belle Fran is going to be our free unit. And the last time we had Final Fantasy 12, we got her for free and enough to 7-star her. And this time we're going to be able to get another version for free and enough to max her out at EX3 for the 1. Now, she doesn't seem to have any global updates that I see. So she still has her bow trust and the materia and everything. A couple of new things. And through the King Mog, we're going to be able to upgrade her bow to 190 attack and magic. And pretty much it just doubles the killers. So I'll have 100% beast and bird killer on it. Oh, not double the killers, just add magic killers to it. So 50% beast and bird killer for both physical and magic is all. Let's see, leather headgear. So a hat, 1000 health, 12 defense, 30 spirit, and 25% beast killer. Don't see a lot of uses for that. Clothing Windbreaker, 38 defense, 50 spirit, and 30% wind resist. Decent amount of spirit and wind resist if needed, but probably not going to be used too much. And then we do get a challenge fight for this. We'll have a mystery crystal in there to get as well. And then the banner themselves. So because we get the other unit for free, just the 2 of them featured here. And what is it, 21,000 step up. Got to run through twice to pity one if you want to, which is what, 42,000 total for a pity. So Balthier is attacker, true brave shift, just pure attacker in both forms. Super trust, attacker units only. 9,999 flat health, 120 attack, 35 defense, 15 spirit. And Balthier only will get 500 attack from it. Everybody else can get 50% limit damage. So pretty nice clothing overall. 50% limit damage with 120 attack and a lot of health. And then his trust is pretty much standard series that we've seen. 50% to all killers and then 500 attack for Final Fantasy 12 only units. And for Ashe, also True Brave Shift. So her base form is a magic tank, and then her shift form is a healer buffer. Her super accessory for female units, 32 defense, 90 magic, 80 spirit. So Ashe will get 500 flat magic in spirit, and everybody else can get 30% mana reduction. So pretty nice to see that much magic on an accessory slot. And then her regular trust is just the magic version of the series, so 500 magic and 50% killers for everything, and Final Fantasy 12 only units. So we can take a look at what they look like on the JP side, because I don't see any global boosts listed for them there. So first up, we can take a look at the free unit that we're going to be getting. So her Neovision boosts, she'll get a Chaos Wave Awaken 800 fire magic. So it's a cooldown, which means we can't multicast it with itself. And not available at the start. So you gotta wait till turn 4 to use it. Nice modifier on it though. She can recover mana 300 to 1. She gets a 50% revive. She can force somebody else to provoke and give them 30% general mitigation. Her main move is the bolting, which boosts her fire damage 50%, 80x modifier. Not too bad for a free unit. She gets a cooldown, a long reuse though, for 135 fire down. So pretty much use that right before the burst. She gets a heal and cure for the party. And then she gets a modifier, which is pretty much for Balthier only. So it boosts pretty much the old Balthier and I believe the base of the Neovision, the new Neovision, by 300x. And then his shifted version gets a 200x modifier. And then she gets some killers, so human, bird, machine killer, and insect for going to Neovision. Usual boost there. She gets some chain mod cap and everything there. Usual that we see for Neovision up. She gets a bunch of spells and we can awaken them to +3, so she gets some dark, ice, fire, and lightning. And then her limit, so she's a super limit unit. Her super limit is just a buff, essentially. So she gets a 150x modifier to her own limit burst, which is a 150x ice locked move. Will reduce ice beforehand. So if you use her super, the next turn she can get a 300x modifier limit burst, ice locked. It cures all debuff from the allies, remove all buffs from enemies, and it gives a 400x modifier to the Chaos Wave Awaken move for the party. So the other unit that gets this is Ashe. So that becomes 1200x modifier after her super limit. So you can take a look at Ashe next. So True Brave Shift in her base form. So magic damage, spirit scaling, 1 hit, 87 magic break. She gets 87 attack break. She gets the Chaos Wave move, same as Fran. She gets a chaining move that will increase latent dark resist 150 to the party. She gets a cooldown for Fairy and Stone Kill to 1 ally for 250. Triple cast. She gets a provoke and she gets the make somebody else taunt. And standard magic cover that we see in 230 on the stats, 50% mitigate, 50% magic mitigate, and then the actual cover. So she does have draw attack. She does auto cast magic cover at the start of battle. So like a lot of the units, that's just at the start. She won't recast out on re-raise. She does have some lightning and fire magic and Shelga +3. And then her limit burst. So mace resist down 35%. Spirit-based magic damage, physical type, so you can imbue it 150. 88 attack and magic break. 70% general mitigation. And 85% machine and stone type mitigation for magic. And then her shifted form, she still has the Fairy and Stone Killer. She adds in a 250 Machine Killer, also on a cooldown to one ally. And then she can still force somebody else to provoke. She gets Fire Imbues, and then at EX3 she gets a boosted one that will boost fire damage by 45% to the team. Her normal one is only a 35% boost. She gets a nice barrier, but only to one ally. Standard healer stuff, re-raise, res, petrify, cure everything, a heal, protectga, shelga, all status ailment resist, all his spells. And then her limit in the shifted form, 100% re-raise, 350 buffs, 250 limit damage, 150 machine, fairy, and stone killer. So not too bad overall. Her triple cast at least lets her mix and match between spells and abilities. Although as far as dealing damage, you're pretty much going to have to go to her base form. And then we have Balthier. So both forms, pure attacker in the base. He's pretty much water focused. He gets a bolting water move. He can do a cure to one ally, give mana. Standard Magnus, boost attack, limit damage, and fill limit. Gets a cooldown that will pretty much top off health and mana for the entire party. 8-turn cooldown for that. He can use potions and heal the entire party instead of just one person. He gets to force somebody else to provoke. And then he also gets a cooldown. So randomly used, but both versions seem to be the same thing to me. But 30% gun down, water damage boost for 30%, and 180x modifier to his base limit. And he also gets an earth bolting and can res for 50%. Double hand unit. Killers are machine, bird, human, and beast. And he actually gets extra bird, so he'll be 250 bird without anything else. With his trust there, he'll be maxed out on bird killer. He gets his lower end chain boost and 100% chain cap. And the base limit, 125 watered down and a 180x hit AE. Water lock to everybody. And then in his shift form, still has the Magnus. His cooldown changes to reduce spear resist and a 60x modifier for his shifted limit burst, as his shifted limit burst is type locked. And he boosts fire damage 30%. He gets a defense and attack break for 87 on separate abilities there. And he can imbue himself with fire. And his shifted limit burst, see, 27 total hits. So 120 to beast, 120 to human, and 120 to machine. So this gets the big modifier for Fran, which obviously you need Fran on the team. And then he gets a little extra modifier from himself. So if you match up the types, especially matching up more than one type, very strong limit burst. Otherwise, pretty decent limit burst overall. I mean, Fran is still going to give him 200x modifier, and I think her limit, yeah, just the 200x modifier then from Fran to Balthier. So I mean, it turns each hit into a 320, and then you add in his own 60 is 380 per hit if it matches up. So if you match more than one, he'll probably be one of the strongest hitting limit bursts. If not, he'll just be up there. So overall, pretty decent units. See, anybody that decides to pull, we'll wish you luck. I'll be doing EX tickets. We'll just see how lucky I can get with getting some useful units there. I won't be pulling directly on the banner this week. And that's pretty much all the news we have. So we're going to end this video here. Hope everybody enjoyed.